What Sony just did was mind-blowing. The Alpha 1 will be remembered for a long time to come, for decades to come. It's a moment in photographic history, in gear history at least. But even better news for Nikon users, Nikon Rumors published some quotes from Tom Hogan, who writes on his website that he has heard news on four key things. Now, one is about the Pro body that Nikon announced that they would come with in the late half of 2021. There is update on that. Then there are updates on lenses, perhaps a better old lens adapter, and three more Z bodies, and also some improvements made on the sensor. So I'll start with the first with the conversations on the Pro body. Now, so there's no confirmation whether it's going to be Z8 or Z9, but it's probably not going to be more than 45 megapixels. In fact, he says that it's probably going to be the same sensor that Nikon uses on the Z7, which is likely to be a Sony sensor. But more importantly, Nikon has made improvements on the sensor so that it's ready for the Pro body. So now if you look at A1, it's a 50 megapixel camera. 45 megapixel ensures that there's a little less megapixel to work with. So if it does 8K, which he says it's going to do, so if it does 8K, it's going to find it slightly easier to do 8K with 45 megapixel than to downsample from 50 megapixel. Also, he says that the Pro body is going to have a different body. The way he critiques, or let's say not critiques, the way he appreciates the Alpha 1 tells me that he thinks that the Pro body should be chunkier and probably bigger with a deeper grip, even deeper grip, because he says the Sony Alpha 1 could be better in terms of size. Which means that when it records 8K video, it's probably going to have little more surface area to get rid of the heat. He confirms that it's going to have more controls. He confirms that it's going to have more performance, which means perhaps a better sensor, more powerful sensor. And you've seen Sony use a couple of their high-end sensors that they have used already in this A7 S3. He also confirms that it's going to shoot faster than Z7 II. Now, Z7 II is not really a fast camera. I think the benchmark is already at least Canon R5, if not the Alpha 1. Is it going to have a better EVF? He says that Nikon has access to better EVF, which means they have better EVF technology, but I think it will depend on the how they want to price the product. But given it's a Pro body, it's not going to be cheap. You can expect better EVF to come in the Z8 or the Z9. We're not sure about the nomenclature. He says it may not exactly match the Sony Alpha 1 in a sense of matching spec to spec, but it's going to be just the right product for the Nikon users to upgrade to when they look at the kind of products Canon users and Sony users have in R5 and Alpha 1, which means it's going to be an equivalent of those cameras in the Nikon system. And he says in one way it could be better. Now, we don't know what is that one way in which it's going to be better, but there is perhaps something there that Nikon is hiding. And he says if he's going to talk about it, then he'll probably give up his source. He doesn't want to do that. So there is probably some key ingredients to the story that we're yet to know about, but we look forward to that news. The most important thing, however, is that because of the sales slump and the bad news around Nikon, and because of also the release of R5, then followed very recently by Alpha 1, I think Nikon has the impetus to launch the product sooner. So we had heard last year that Nikon had said that they're going to launch the Z8 or the Z9, A9 plus R5 surfer body. They said they'll release it around end 2021, but if you go by what Tom Hogan says, it's going to be just launched just at the beginning of summer, which means it's just around the corner, which is very exciting. It's probably 2 months to go or 3 months to go, and we might start hearing more rumors from Nikon, and let's see what comes out. But this is an exciting bit of news. The other 2-3 bits of pieces of information that we get from this article that he has written is that there is going to be 6 more Z mount lenses that's going to be added to the existing lens roadmap. 6, and I really I'm looking forward to tinier, more affordable, more portable sort of lenses. We don't know exactly what kind of lenses are going to come out. Nikon is obviously has not released that news yet, but 6 more lenses, guys. 6 more lenses. That sounds very exciting. It's going to be added to the roadmap. Now we don't know whether it's going to be added to the roadmap saying that it's going to be released in 2021, because they already have a sort of a quite a long list of lenses to be released this year, especially the long telephoto primes, the 85mm 1.2 and a couple of compact lenses, the 28mm and the 40mm, which I'm really looking forward to because they'll fit beautifully the Z6. And there's more news. Nikon has apparently worked upon and improved on 3 sensors: the 20 megapixel sensor, the 24 megapixel sensor, and the 45 megapixel sensor. Now we know that the 45 megapixel sensor will be used for the Z8 and or the Z9, but what I'm curious about is whether there's going to be another 45 megapixel body, which is not going to be probably hybrid, which is going to probably be a, I don't know, just a faster shooting Z7. Does that make sense? I'm not sure. But what is more exciting is the 20 megapixel and the 24 megapixel bodies. Now, look, Nikon had said last year that the Z6 II was going to be the last 24 megapixel full frame cameras. We might see 2 crop sensor APS-C bodies at 20 megapixel and 24 megapixel. The 24 megapixel could be sort of the 7500 equivalent, a more pro body with a lot more video features in it, because I think the APS-C body should pack more video features. They'll have a faster sensor readout and all those things because of the smaller sensor. And if they have already improved on the sensor, we are expecting that the sensors will have faster scanning speed. Now, probably a Z70 with a 24 megapixel body. This is my guess. He hasn't reported this. And probably a 20 megapixel Z30 or something like that. I would be very keen to look at the Z30 because it's probably going to be just a EVF less body, quite inexpensive, something that's going to go very well with my 70-200 now when I want that extra range. So again, exciting news on 3 upcoming bodies. The last bit of news is he says that Nikon has heard the cry over the lack of an adapter that can handle a screw mount, which means you're probably going to be able to use all your D lenses and adapt them to the Nikon Z cameras with this new adapter. It's probably going to be expensive, probably twice the price as the existing one, but to be able to have access to all those lenses which people love and they do not want to get rid of, I think this is a smart move by Nikon. They don't want to clearly open the mount up to everyone because Sigma and Tamron are trying to figure out the Nikon algorithm and figure out lenses and autofocus for the system, but they want to keep the monopoly on the Z system lenses, but people still want the flexibility of being able to use those older lenses. And in the absence of all those third-party lenses, most Nikon users will have to fall back on the cheaper, on decent, good quality f-mount lenses. So a screw mount lens adapter is a great idea, and I think this could be a huge step forward for Nikon Z system. So there you go, guys, 4 big pieces of information. I really pray that about 80% of it comes true, because the lens lineup is already pretty good and it's going to happen anyway because it's already on a roll. So I'm not too worried about that, but I really hope that out of the 4 pieces of information, I really hope that the Pro Body news is correct. I hope that, rumor, and I hope that the new FTZ screw mount adapter proves to be an accurate piece of information. Also very excited to see 2-3 new Z bodies coming out. So yeah, take care guys, subscribe, and I will see you around. Thank you.